Today we are going to talk about how to read Croatian wine labels. Hello. Welcome back to Exotic Wine Travel. I am your host, Matthew Horkey. Today we are going to talk about how to read Croatian wine labels. If you follow our work, you know that we spend a lot of time in Croatia. We spend maybe 3-4 months out of the year in the country. We even wrote a book about Croatian wines, Cracking Croatian Wine, a visitor-friendly guide, which won a Gourmand Award for Best in the World. So a lot of this information we're going to talk about is covered more in depth in that book. It's on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description box, but I'm going to try to give you some tips and tools so if you go to visit the country, you can understand the wine labels and you can choose with a little bit more confidence. So number one, you've got to understand a little bit about Croatian geography so you know what kind of wines you want to look for. You got to think Croatia is broken up into four general wine regions. Two of those are on the continental portion of the country, receive more of a continental climate, and those two regions are the Croatian uplands and Slavonia and the Danube. Now these regions you're going to see more white wines, even though there are some good red wines being made. In the uplands you're going to see more cool climate varieties like Sauvignon Blanc, some cool Chardonnay. They actually have ferment, some very decent Pinot Noirs up in that area. And then Graševina, maybe more commonly known as Velschriesling around the world. Slavonia and the Danube is mostly a white wine region. Where it's kind of the spiritual home of Graševina. And you'll also see it's famous for Traminac or Gewürztraminer, real floral white, although there are increasingly more good red wines being made there. Now, there's two other regions that are on the coast, the Adriatic coast of Croatia. And number one, that's Istria-Kvarner, and then Dalmatia. In Istria-Kvarner, you're going to see a lot of great whites made out of Malvazija ISTARSKA, or in English, Malvazija Istriana. Now, these wines can be floral, they can be simple, crisp, flowery, they can be barrel-aged, or they can be macerated, made into orange wines. Istria-Kvarner, you're going to also find some really exciting red wines that are based off the local grape Teran. I really like when Teran is blended with Bordeaux grapes like Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc. In Dalmatia, this is full-out Mediterranean region. You're going to find some really unique, exciting grapes like Pošip, Vugava, Marashtina, Debit. These are all white grapes. For red grapes, the main grape is Plavac Mali, a big, tannic, complex red. Although there's some other exciting grapes you want to check out there. Babic is one that's up and coming. Plavina, Lasina, lots of other stuff going on. The next thing you need to know is a little bit about language. The Slavic language is intimidating for a lot of people because there's lots of consonants strung together without vowels in between. To native English speakers, they can be really super intimidating. And there are a lot of rules, but let me just break a few things down to you. Just for pronunciation-wise, the vowels. You gotta know the vowels. The easiest comparison would be they have all Spanish sounds. A, E, I, O, U. So those are the vowels. A, E, I, O, U. That's how you pronounce the vowels in Croatian. Number two, some of the letters. Especially you're going to see the letters C, S, and Z with weird little markings on them. C is one of the most confusing. If you see a C and there's nothing above it, it's pronounced like TS. Whereas like this producer, a lot of people in English speaking would say tomak. This is tomats. This is the proper way to pronounce it. Number two, if you see a C with just one angled hash on it, it's going to be like a soft ch sound. Like there's a producer in Dalmatia called Tomic, spelled like this. And then number three, if there is a C with an upside down hat, that's going to be a ch. Like this Croatian staple snack, which is dried pork, cevaci. You can see there's two different C's in that. Ch at the beginning, and then T-S, Chvatsi. So those, what do you have to remember for C? For S, if S does not have an accent, it's just like we would pronounce it. If it does have a hat on top of it, it's going to have a hard sh. Like this indigenous variety, Shkurlet. If there's a Z with an upside down hat, it's going to make a zh sound like this producer, Karigia. Let's talk about some basics. Bijelo vino is white wine. Crno vino is red wine. Pienišavo vino is sparkling wine. Let's get into some more advanced stuff. So in general, Croatia will have 4 important pieces of information on the label. Number 1, the producer. Croatians buy by producer. Number 2, the grape variety. Most Croatian wines are labeled by variety, although there are a couple appellations you got to look up for. Pošip and Dingac. Those are in Dalmatia, 100% Plavac Mali. Sometimes producers like to label their wines by the name of the cuvee that they give them. Like this example right here. We have Clyde Bombonero. Bombonero is the name of the wine. It's one of Croatia's most legendary red wines. Actually, the grape is Rafosco. You can see that right there. Vintage, number 3, is very self-explanatory. It will always show what year the grapes are grown. Number 4 is quality level. This is a throwback to Yugoslavian times when Croatia was still part of the Kingdom of Yugoslavia. So they have a state-run board that blind tastes these wines and then tells you what the quality levels should be. And in Croatia, there's 3 levels. There's stolno vino, which is just table wine. Kvalitetno, which is quality wine. And vrhunsko. Vrhunsko means it should be top quality wine. Now, use these as a guideline. You have a lot of times some wines that are made kind of outside the state rules, the state laws, so they opt for a lower level of quality. There's some excellent wines named in the stolno vino, just labeled as table wine. We have this Ipsha wine as kvalitetno, which just means quality wine. It's an orange wine. That's why I think they moved down in quality. This is a fantastic wine. You also have some vrhunsko wines that are just, I don't know who is tasting them. They cannot be that good. So use that only as a guideline. There's an extra thing that you should look out for. Sometimes you see it on the front label, but most of the time it's on the back label. It's sweetness level. Croatian wines will have the sweetness level indicated on the label. So a few things that you need to know, a few terms that you need to know. The word for dry is suho. Suho. Most of the wines in Croatia will be dry. You'll also see wines that are off dry or half dry called polusuho. Then you'll also see sweet wines. The word for sweet is slatko. So hardcore ice wines, predicate wines, dessert wines are going to be labeled as slatko. Sometimes you'll see some semi-sweet wines named as poluslatko. I have 2 examples here that make it super easy. I'm going to show you. This is one of the easiest labels. We see, like I mentioned earlier, the producer's Ipsha. You'll see the grape Malvazija 2017, super easy. On the back, you'll see that it's Kvalitetno. This is a wine from Istria. Fantastic. Next, you have a wine label that's a little bit more complicated. And let's break this down. So we have Enjingi is the producer up on top here. Venje, it's a single vineyard wine is the name of the blend. In the 2010 vintage. You'll see that it's a vrhunsko vino, so it's classified as top wine. There are some extra terms here. Kasna berba means late harvest. All the Vinogorje is the Kutjevo. That's a vineyard in Kutjevo. We will cover that stuff more in depth in our book. So hopefully that's enough to get you started, to get you buying Croatian wines, selecting Croatian wines off the shelf, off the restaurant list with more confidence. If you want to know more details, check out our book, Cracking Croatian Wine, a visitor-friendly guide. It's on Amazon now. And if you like this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Exotic Wine Travel. I will see you at the next episode.